There's a reason why dogs are called man's best friend. But after watching these stories, you might be thinking that the saying needs to be changed to kids' best friends instead, due to the amazing feats that these lovable little furballs go through to protect these children. Dog found in snow. The first story hasn't been confirmed to be true or not, but it's so amazing that it deserves to be told. Sometimes there are people that just simply should not be parents, and unfortunately for this young boy, his mother was one of them. The young child, who was only around 2 to 3 years old, lived in the Altai region of southern Siberia, Russia, where it is known to reach minus freezing temperatures in the winter. Knowing this, the boy's mother still abandoned him in the middle of the winter, leaving the child, who wore only summer clothes, to fend for himself on her front porch. In minus 20 degrees Celsius, that's minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit. Even adults would freeze to death. With such cold temperatures, it seemed like the boy had no chance of surviving the night. That was until a hero dog found the boy and curled up around him, using her body heat to warm the freezing child. For 2 days, the dog kept the boy alive and as warm as she possibly could, refusing to leave his side until neighbors eventually found the two huddled together. The boy was rushed to a hospital, where it was reported that he was suffering from acute hypothermia. However, he was responding positively to treatment. Not long after the boy was rescued, his mother returned back home, only to be arrested for abandoning her child. As for the dog, she was labeled a hero by the locals and was praised for her brave actions, which saved the young boy's life. What an amazing dog! Do you think this story actually happened? Let us know in the comments. Even though this story might not be true, the next one definitely is, and you don't want to miss it. Dog rescues abandoned baby. When an animal has just given birth, they often get into a certain mind frame where they are happy to look after other babies from different species. This maternal instinct is exactly what led to this one dog in Kenya discovering something no one expected. In a poor neighborhood in the capital of Nairobi, a nursing dog was foraging for food so that she could produce milk for her puppies, when she instead came across an abandoned baby girl. Because her maternal instincts were so strong, the dog carefully picked up the baby and carried it back to her litter of puppies, even crossing a busy road and through a barbed wire fence to get the child back to safety. Lene Gogani, a resident of the compound where the dog and her puppies had been moved to, said that she discovered the girl among the dog's puppy litter after some local boys had said that they had heard a baby crying. Having found the newborn child, she was instantly taken to Kenyatta National Hospital, where doctors determined that she had been abandoned for around 2 days before being found by the dog. The infant, who weighed around 7.3 pounds, responded well to treatment and was given the name Angel. After recovering from her ordeal, she was put in a foster program, where she was given a new and better life. Unfortunately, Angel's situation isn't uncommon in Kenya. Poverty and failed relationships are often blamed for the high number of abandoned children that appear in the country. Luckily for this little girl, she got a second chance at life thanks to her 4-legged guardian angel. Now that's a caring mother, but she's not the only one to do something incredibly compassionate like that, as this next story shows just how much care, love, and awareness dogs are actually capable of. Rescue dog saves little girl. Back in 2016, a dog called Peanut was taken into a Delta animal shelter in Michigan, having suffered 2 broken legs along with numerous other injuries due to her abrasive former owner. No one knew that this sweet little dog, who seemed so broken and weak, would one day save a life. Not long after Peanut was rescued, her former owner was arrested for animal cruelty, and the dog was adopted by a new loving couple. It seemed that she would finally be able to put her horrible past behind her. A year later, in March 2017, Peanut was living happily with her new family, when one day she started acting strange. About 11 a.m. this morning, Peanut started going crazy at our house, said the dog's owner, in a letter to the shelter they adopted the canine from. She was running up and down the stairs, barking and yelping. The agitated little dog then ran to the garage where the woman's husband was working and alerted him that she wanted to go outside. Confused by her odd behavior, the man let Peanut out of the house. However, the second that the door was opened, the pup went barreling into the field behind the house at full speed. She had clearly sensed that something was wrong. The husband followed the determined dog, only to discover a shocking surprise. Lying on the ground, Curled up in a ball was a naked and shivering 3-year-old girl with Peanut stood right beside her. Thinking quickly, the man wrapped up the child in his sweatshirt and carried her back to the house, where he called the police. The officers were quick to respond and took the girl to a hospital where she was given a checkup, before placing her in Child Protective Services. They also managed to track down the girl's parents and removed a second child from them, who was also put into Child Protection Services. Had it not been for Peanut, who knows what could have happened to those young children? This is one amazing pup indeed. Peanut's not the only one saving children from harm though. Keep watching to see how one family dog protected his 3 sisters from what could have been a horrific situation. Dog saves 3 girls from being taken. Edgar was a 4-year-old treeing Walker coonhound who had recently been adopted by the Lambert family back in 2019. The family who lived in Pennsylvania consisted of the father, Tom Lambert, his wife, their 3 daughters, and now Edgar. The dopey little pup loved his new family, so when someone broke into their home in April of 2017, he wasn't about to let any harm befall any of his precious people. The night of the break-in, Edgar woke Tom and his wife up with his loud barks and growls. It was like a growl howl, Tom said about the noise which Edgar made. It was obvious that he was really upset, and as soon as I got him to quit barking, I heard sounds of someone going down the stairs. Positive that someone was in his home, the worried man quickly ran downstairs only to discover that the kitchen window and door were open, confirming that there had been a stranger lurking about. Tom rushed upstairs to check on his daughters, who were all thankfully fast asleep, before calling the police. After being told the situation, Pennsylvania State Trooper Megan Frazier said that the dog started barking and woke up the homeowner and scared away DeWald. The dog potentially saved the little girls' lives. Not long after the break-in had occurred, a 20-year-old man called Thomas DeWald was arrested for snatching another child, which had happened 3 days earlier. Thankfully, the little girl escaped and was able to get back home safely with the help of some good Samaritans. Upon his arrest, DeWald admitted to breaking into the Lamberts' home with the intention of taking one of the 3 girls. However, he was scared off by the dog's barks before he could. The man was charged with multiple felonies and was sentenced to multiple years in jail. As for Edgar, he enjoyed lots of love and praise for his bravery as he protected the family from a horrible person and situation. He is truly one of the best dogs around. Once you adopt a dog, they are in your family for life and will do everything they can to protect the ones that they love. As this next story shows, when one dog paid the ultimate price to save her baby sister. Hero dog saves baby from fire. Fires are one of the worst things that can happen in a family home. But when one woman was left unable to rescue her baby daughter, things seemed devastating. Erica Poremski lived in her Baltimore home with her 8-month-old daughter, Viviana, and her 6-year-old dog, Polo. One evening, Erica stepped outside to grab something from her car, thinking she would only be a few minutes, and left her baby and dog inside the house. Unfortunately, this turned out to be one of the worst mistakes she could have made. Whilst out of the house, a fire suddenly broke out, engulfing the building within moments. "I tried to keep getting in," Erica said. "She was up the stairs, but the fire smoke was so heavy I couldn't get past it. I kept running back out and back in, trying to get up there. Then the door curling started falling and I couldn't get back in." Due to her efforts, the new mother suffered burns on her face and hands, but this was nothing compared to the thought of losing her daughter and dog. By the time that the fire was raging, Viviana had woken up and her crying could be heard in the streets below. Despite everyone in the neighborhood trying to reach the baby, no one could get inside the burning house. When firefighters arrived, they quickly rushed into the burning house, where, astonishingly, they found baby Viviana alive, albeit slightly burned. But how had the baby managed to survive such a perilous situation? It was all thanks to Polo. The heroic pooch had laid on the infant, shielding her from the flames with his body. Because of this, Viviana only suffered from burns on her arm and side. Unfortunately, in protecting his baby sister, Polo ended up losing his own life to the fire. The baby and her mother were taken to the hospital, where they were both treated for their injuries. Since the fire, they were able to raise over $30,000, around 26,000 euros, via donations to help them find a new home to live in. And although Polo may be gone, Erica will never forget him or the sacrifice he made that day so that her daughter could live. What amazing dogs these are. There truly is nothing like a dog's love and loyalty, so it's only fair to give them the same amount of care and attention that they give to us. So why not give your pooch a treat, simply for being the amazing animals that they are? See you next time for more inspiring stories.